Many of you may have heard of a company called XPPen. They've traditionally been in the drawing industry with a handful of different products for those that love to draw. But today we're going to be introducing a brand new product that is tailored for those that want to note take. It has a handful of unique features that have not been seen in the industry before, and today we're going to showcase the hardware, the screen, the writing functionality, and a handful of different apps that you can use with it. Let's start by talking about the form factor and hardware of this device. It is equipped with a 400 nit brightness screen and 128 gigabytes of RAM. It is the 10.5 inch diagonal screen and it is matte finish. And this is really going to help you not only consume media in high lit locations, but that matte finish screen cover is going to make writing a breeze. It is equipped with a camera and it has various function buttons on the side for adjusting volume, powering device on and off. One thing that is unique about it is it has this bezel on the side that you can use to hold with your finger, either in landscape or in portrait mode, but it's also designed to hold your pen that attaches there. Now this is a unique pen and we'll get into the actual information about this pen in a minute. But one thing I want to show you right off the bat that's really unique about this is I can go ahead and I can adjust the brightness of the screen. And you can see here the brightness does have a nice look and feel to it. But one thing that makes this device so sought after is I'm going to go ahead and open up OneNote for a moment here. And you can see this is a OneNote project that I'm working on. And I can go into my calendar. And this is my calendar open in OneNote. So it does run Android, which we'll talk a little bit more about in a few minutes when we talk about all the different applications. But running an Android-based system, you have the ability to connect with the Google Play Store and download a plethora of apps, including like Kindle book library and anything you might find on the Play Store. But with this little button on the side here that has a little bit of a shine to it, if I go ahead and I click that button one time, you're going to notice that these different paper modes come up. First one being the natural color mode. This is the mode that we're currently in. It is a high definition, bright with the original colors, and that's the current mode. There's also two additional modes, one being the light color mode. This has less saturation, softer colors, and gives you more of a paper-like experience. And then the last mode is ink paper mode. If you are using like an Onyx Books or maybe you have the new Remarkable Paper Pro, this is going to fit more in that mode. So it allows you to have color, but not have all the distractions of all the vibrant colors. And you can see here, we still have that color, but everything is a little less saturated. Kind of has a pastel look to it, but we're still able to recognize the color blocking. And this I think is really awesome, powerful for those that want to have more of a pastel, full color writing experience that is traditionally being seen in all the e-ink devices. I'm gonna click that button again, and this time I'm gonna go into ink paper mode. This has a full-on black and white mode. And you'll see if I go ahead and enter that mode, that kind of a neat animated effect, right? Punching in, you can see the color here, those highlighted marks went to this grayscale. Still very smooth, very polished. The resolution on that is phenomenal for what I am zoomed in at. But this gives me a more of a paper-like feel in a black and white e-ink sense. This 3-ink mode makes it the world's first 3-in-1 color notepad. Combining that with the 16,000 pressure levels and 90 Hz refresh rate, it is one amazing tablet. And you can learn more about the specs in the description below. I've been using this for the last 3 or 4 weeks, and I found myself more and more grabbing this device over some of my other tablets because I had the ability to go into a paper-like setting and have an entire view showcased just like that, but then quickly able to jump back into a regular vibrant mode to consume like media, check my email, browse the web. And you can see even the Android operating system is going to adjust. You can see here, so I have the Bible app, I have the Kindle app on here, I can go and see my weather. And if I want to have some color, but not have that full color effect, and you're going to see these icons are going to light up a little bit, still has a saturated feeling, but definitely still more bold. Now, we can go into some of the apps and talk about the app settings here in a few moments, but just want to give you a look and feel how this looks when you're using this. So moving to the stylus itself here, you can see that there is a soft nib on the end of this stylus, which actually conveniently works with the screen very well. This isn't a glass-like screen. It's more of like a poly screen that you might see on some of the ink devices. It does have a function button here that you can change, which this will then connect to the actual device itself. So we can go into the settings here, and there's a handful of different settings I want to showcase for you. We can go all the way down to the advanced features. The first thing I want to show you is the handwrite offset. Now this here, with a lot of different tablets, when it comes to being able to use a stylus, sometimes how our eyes align with our writing aren't exactly how we would like them to be visioned when we go ahead and write out text. Well, here I can go ahead and I can adjust just by small movements of this. I can go ahead and adjust how the actual inking compared to where the tip hits the screen aligns. So maybe if you're right-handed and you want to have the inking more to the right, or if you're left-handed and you want to have the inking more to the left, just so that your eye line of sight with the inking looks more precise, you can do that by offsetting that. And that's something you don't generally see in most options when it comes to being able to customize your stylus feature. So now we can go inside the stylus then here. We have the ability to go ahead and customize that button. We can use it to create a dual screen, a back button, jump to the home, a recent button, a shortcut panel, as well as undefined. Right now I have it set to undefined because many of the apps that I'm using will make this little button like an eraser as I write, so I don't want to interfere with the natural setting of the app. So we're going to leave it at undefined. And we can also go back here and we can see that there's a couple other features. One of them is the floating button, and I'll show that here for you in a second. We can turn that on and off. And then we have the ability to showcase where the shortcut panel shows up. So when I go ahead, I can move this floating button to any size that I want. I kept it over here on the left side because I'm right-handed and I didn't want to naturally bump it by accident. Not that I've had any issues with any screen palm interference at this point yet, but there is an ability for you to adjust those settings as well. But if I tap on that floating button, it's going to go ahead and pop open this window here. And I have all of these different features. One feature that I think is really neat is I can actually choose an area of the screen and record it. So maybe if I'm taking notes, or if I'm trying to show my parents how to do something on the tablet and they're in another state, and I'm trying to tell them, hey, this is how you change this setting, I can actually go into here and choose an area of the screen and start doing a recording, record my screen, save it, and then shoot that off to them, and hopefully they'll be able to see my tutorial and know how to go about changing the settings of what it is I was trying to teach them. But there are so many other features. You have the ability to go ahead, write an e-signature, take a note, and then you have the ability to pull in different apps, and you can customize all of this. And you can change this however you want, and you can add other apps to it. So maybe, for example, if I'm using a third-party app like OneNote, I can throw that right in here, and I can easily jump to that app. And you can see I can just toggle through those apps. I also have the ability to jump into my settings. So that floating button really gives this stylus an added layer of features when you're trying to navigate and move throughout the tablet itself. Now, if you are an Android user, there's a lot of settings that you're going to find that is going to be in this device, just like you'd have across any other Android device. As you may be familiar already with the Play Store, a lot of the other settings that you would find, like dark mode, being able to connect to Wi-Fi, Bluetooth. Imagine with Bluetooth, you're going to be able to connect other peripherals to this device as well. You can go ahead and adjust your display settings, and you also have the ability to change your sound and change any navigation or system gestures that you might want to utilize. The battery life in here is pretty good. I've been using it for most of the day already, and I only dropped about 5 to 6% after using it for about an hour. It does have what they say is an all-day battery. I don't know if that means like it's all day, all on, or just what general consumption would be. But so far, it does charge with a USB-C port, so that is pretty standard and can connect with many of my devices. Now, I also have the ability with Android to be able to customize any of the screens, bring in widgets to the screen, and I have the ability to go ahead and sort out devices. I also have the ability to use like floating or split screen. So say, for example, if I wanted to go ahead and open up my Kindle library, and then I wanted to go ahead and bring my notes to the side of that, I can go ahead and do so by bringing up, say, the notes, click the drop down, do split screen, and now I have that there. I'm going to choose my second app, and there I have that split screen function. And one thing I've commonly talked about this in the past, one thing that's so unique about having split screen is so now, especially if you're in a note-taking world, because we're looking at a note-taking device, you can be browsing the web, you can be browsing the internet, you can be reading books and taking real notes. Maybe if you're in class and you're looking up research online, you can go ahead and take notes. And I think that is so important for those that are note-taking to have that feature. Now, it also has the ability to other things than just going ahead and having a split screen. You can also utilize what Android refers to as the floating window. And this allows you to kind of be able to take that window, move it, as well as rescale it and do a number of things with it. You can always bring it back to full screen. But I think that is just one thing that's really fabulous about using an Android platform is all the additional settings that come with the operating itself is going to be part of this device. So now let's take a look at some of the applications you might want to consider for note-taking with the XPPen Magic Notepad. So as I mentioned, one thing that's common with using Android devices is having access to the Play Store. Now we've done tons of videos showcasing tons of different apps that you can use on Android devices, from Penly to Nebo to GoodNotes to OneNote, and they all have their place, and they all have their place for different reasons. Today we're going to be showing you 3 apps, one that's native to the device, which is the XPPen Notes. We're going to show you OneNote, and we're going to show you GoodNotes and how these apps kind of interact with the device and how they work with other devices. A couple things I want you to know before we get into this segment is when it comes to note-taking and digital planning, you have the ability to import custom templates and custom planning systems. I am Branden Bodendorfer, the creator and founder of the Key to Success Planner, a planning system that's built for personal, professional, business, and executive use. It's going to help you take your professional goals, your vision for your organization, and how you want to build out your professional life and personal habits and routines that you want to maximize throughout your day into a daily planning system that is all in one, and it's included in what you do and how you live. We focus on so much more than just a task list or what is important to getting your to-dos done, but we focus on what's meaningful and what matters most to your success, happiness, and reducing any anxiety so you can have clear focus on what you want to achieve. Now, when it comes to using our system, it can be used in a number of different ways. With these tablets that we've talked about on this channel, is many of the different applications are tailored to sync across other devices. OneNote is probably the most universal. OneNote is an application that you can write something on any Windows, Apple, or Android device that you can download OneNote application to, and those notes will seamlessly sync across all the various platforms. You can even share and collaborate with other people. You can password protect, and you can even back up and archive your notes, and you can search those notes if it be text or even handwritten features. It is really awesome, and it works much like a filing cabinet where you can designate different spaces for your notes just as you would file notes in a filing cabinet. When it comes to using like GoodNotes and this XPPen Notes, these apps work with interactive PDFs, and our planner is available in such a download. You can go ahead and download these apps and insert and import our planner into them, and you can navigate through them just like you would a book. OneNote is a universal app, and some of these apps now, like GoodNotes, you can actually collaborate through sharing a link. So I can go ahead and make my initial install on one device and then collaborate across my other devices and share that note and share that planner so I can sync up all my devices. So let's first talk about the native app that comes with the Magic Notepad, XPPen Notes. Now you can see that the interface looks very common to most. You do have the ability to unlock membership for $2.99 a month and get continuous updates. But with the purchase of your Magic Notepad, you will have this membership permanently at no additional cost. There's plenty of different templates you can choose from. You have the ability to have different pen tools. So you can see here I have a favorites list here. I have a ballpoint pen. I have the ability to choose a pencil. There's a fountain tip, and there is a highlighting tip. And throughout this, I can change any of the line thicknesses over here as well as a color. Now, I have not shown you yet how this stylus and this pen work and how they write. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how it writes. And I'm just going to change this color to blue and make the line a little thicker. I'm going to go ahead and write. And there you can see I wrote the word write. Now I can go ahead and change my color mode. And again, the animation is great. This here gives me the ability to have that pastel color look. And if I use the highlighter, you can still see that pastel yellow is there. Now, one thing that they made that was kind of unique inside this app is I had the ability to go up here and I can customize the skin of the app. I can change the color of the tile bar, but they have this eye care color. And this allows me to do like a night mode where I can change like the blue light filter. I can go to an outdoor mode that makes it brighter from outside. And there's also a reading mode that you can go ahead and choose for. And these are all going to help with your eye strain, and you can adjust these settings however you would like. For this video, we're leaving it at 0%, so we're not impacting that filter at all, just so you can see the screen for what it is out of the box. And again, there's that highlighter. Now I can also go back, change my mode, and you'll see how inside the XPPen Notes app, that changes to black and white. Now, I have the ability to use the lasso tool, and the lasso tool is going to allow me to do a number of things. When I choose the lasso tool, I have the ability to take a screenshot. I can go ahead and copy, and it does have the ability to create a hyperlink. You can go ahead and use the lasso tool, and you can select your tool. That'll allow you to move it, it'll allow you to transform it. You can also go ahead and copy, delete, as well as cut it. And you can do a number of other features like OCR and create a link. And we're going to do a deep dive into this application in a coming video, and we're going to teach you how to use it with all these different features. I just want to showcase what you can do with it. One thing that I think is great, especially for those that are in the note-taking world, is being able to copy this, move to another page in your planner like a to-do list, and then go ahead and paste that to-do list just like you see here. And in addition to being able to use the lasso tool, we can import other media. We can bring in text mode, so we can go ahead and we can type in the planner or in the notes. I'm just going to put type, and you can see that that type shows up here. We also have the ability to convert to text. Now, this is going to see that everything I wrote is now been put into text, and I can go ahead and choose to move all those handwritten notes into text. I can also do that with the lasso tool by simply selecting and using the OCR, and it's going to convert that text as well. I will say, in my experience so far, other apps on this platform have done a little bit better job at recognizing my particular text. I don't know if you have the same experience, but for the most part, I would say 80-90% of my text is totally recognizable. I also have the ability to record audio in here, and I think this is a big feature. We've showcased this in other tablets that have that audio recording. Some apps have it as well, but being able to record audio in a meeting and take notes simultaneously can be something that can be very helpful. It allows you to be able to back up and listen to the audio if you don't remember exactly what your note was, or if you felt that you need to be in a position to pay more attention to the person that was addressing you than diving deep into note taking. You have that flexibility to go back and forth. And I can have multiple notebooks open with this. In addition to all the tools that you might use for writing and making annotations in the system, you have the ability to jump into settings here, and you'll see there's tons of additional tools for navigating through creating outlines, being able to export and share and change the way the view of the screen looks, as well as how you're able to scroll through multi-page PDFs. I can go ahead and go back to the home button, and you can see right here there's an import button, and this is where I can go ahead and add folders, create additional notes, as well as import PDFs. And I can import those PDFs by simply saving them to my device manager on my device. And this device does connect over Wi-Fi as well as through USB-C, so you can be able to pull images, PDF files back and forth from your computer to this device itself. So that right there is a quick look at the XP Notes that comes as part of this tablet. Let's go ahead and look at a couple other applications that we previously talked about that you can download from the Google Play Store. The first one we'll look at is OneNote. And I'm going to go ahead and jump into my color paper mode just to show you what that might look like. Now, I previously mentioned with OneNote, you're able to synchronize your notes across all your different devices. I primarily use this as my daily driver when it comes to planning and note taking. I just love the feel of being able to go ahead and choose a pen, change colors, change line thicknesses. I have an eraser tool, I have an lasso tool, and then I can go ahead and hit the stop button and bring up my keyboard, and I can actually type in the system as well. But one thing I think is really cool is throughout this, it will go ahead and search your handwritten notes. So if I type in the word boys, you can see right here it has a date and it takes me to that page. You're going to find it's going to take you to the word boys that I have searched inside of this planning system. And as it continues to populate, you're going to see it's even going to start to pull in text, handwritten text that I wrote. And I think that is so cool about OneNote is now I have a way of not only searching my typed notes, but also all my handwritten notes. When it comes to using OneNote, another big feature that I really like about it is the ability to not only be able to synchronize across all platforms, but to be able to utilize a hyperlink system for navigation. I can go ahead and hit the stop button, and I can go ahead and click on like the 14th here. It's going to bring up a window asking me if I can open the link. If I hit open link, it'll take me right to that page. I can go ahead and click on this little @ button here, hit open link, and this will actually take me to a year at a view. So within 2 clicks, I can get to really any date in the planning system and easily start to take notes on that particular day and page and navigate throughout the system. The other way you can navigate is simply going through the closed and open corridor, which allows you to basically create sections. Inside of sections, you'll find pages. Inside those pages, you'll find all your daily planning. And as for writing in here, we can go ahead and enable the writing tool. So write a note, and I can go ahead and highlight, and there you have it. I have the ability to highlight and write a note. So the last app that I want to show you is GoodNotes. Now, GoodNotes is going to work a lot like Penly and Nebo and other apps. And in the description, you're going to find complete tutorials to these individual apps. But one thing that I want you to know about GoodNotes, recently you've been able to start to collaborate across different platforms. So I can go ahead and download and install my planner on an Apple device, which is where GoodNotes really originated from, and go ahead and create a link and collaborate. Share that link across my other platforms, and then from there, I'm able to go in and see those collaborated notebooks across even Windows and Android systems. Now, how does GoodNotes work in comparison to other note-taking applications? For me, when it comes to a PDF annotation app on the Apple system, I think it's by far the best. They are cutting edge. They continue to release features. When it looks at the other platforms like Windows and Android, they're definitely keeping pace with all their competition. What you need to recognize is when you are in this writing mode, you need to disable and go into reading mode. And what that'll allow you to do is in reading mode, I can go ahead and utilize the hyperlinks to navigate throughout the system. So again, I can hit the year to view, and then I can choose a date, and it'll navigate to that page. And then from here, I can enable the writing tool, and I can choose a pen stroke, either fountain, ballpoint, or brush. And I can go ahead and utilize a number of the different features here. I can choose a line thickness. I can adjust that line thickness as default. I can change it to dashed or dotted, as well as solid. And I can even change the different colors. And I can have 3 presets of my thickness as well as my color. And then from there, I can go ahead and I can write a note. I can also have the ability to use like a lasso tool that we showcased, where I can go ahead and select, and it's going to give me a lot of the same features that we saw in some of the other apps. When I tap on it here, I can go ahead and cut, copy, delete. I can also convert to text, and that's one that's probably really powerful. You can see here it's going to bring up a dialog box, and it's going to say write a note. Not exactly how I wrote it. If I want to go ahead and change that, I can go do that, space, change it to note, go ahead and bring my screen down and hit convert, and then it'll convert it and it'll place that text on the screen as you've seen it here. I have the ability to go ahead and erase, as well as go ahead and highlight, as well as create any shapes, bring in any other forms of media, and I can even create a text box. And in this text box, if I wanted to be able to go ahead and write a note in that text box, I could do so just by utilizing that. I can change the font size, if it's bold, italics, and so forth. So when it comes to utilizing GoodNotes, you have all those traditional features. I also have the ability to bring up a page sorter, and from here I can actually flag pages. I can go ahead and duplicate pages. So maybe there is a meeting page or there is a note page. That's one thing that's really powerful about our planning system is we have this key page. So if I scroll up here and I click on key, this will bring me to like my index page, and you're going to see here I have a note page. I can go ahead, and what's so neat about these note pages, I'm just going to go ahead and make this I'm going to say fishing trip. If I go ahead and click on this one, that'll actually take me to a hyperlink page that now that I can associate with the index note that I made as this fishing trip, and now I can actually start to go ahead and plan my fishing trip inside this note. If I wanted to add additional pages to this section of my index, I could do so by go ahead and copying a page and pasting it after. I can also pull in templates. And if you want to learn how to fully use GoodNotes, again, go to that description, check out the link, and you can learn all about using GoodNotes. When it comes to this device, people, here's what I want to tell you. If you are looking for an Android tablet to take notes with today that has a dedicated focus on being able to write and take notes and has that ability to kind of move across the 3 different modes of writing in ink, this is the one to look at. No doubt. Being able to consume media as well as being able to take notes on a single tablet really gives me an all-in-one feel. I can go back to that color mode and I can pull up, say, YouTube, and I can actually start to watch YouTube. I can go ahead and watch information about books, and I'm a big photographer. You guys can see here.
Fit better into one of those categories than others. Let's go over some
I'm able to actually watch a video. I could be taking notes side by side. One thing I want to tell you about the position of the speakers here, I found if I hold it like this with my palms into the speaker, the volume is a lot louder. If I hold it this way, the audio projects out to the side, not nearly as loud, but you can look at the quality of that photo. Gosh, that guy's a good photographer. Too bad that wasn't me. But that's what's unique about having this device, is you have an all-in-one tablet that allows you to consume media, download pretty much any app that you might want to find on a Google Play Store, but then being able to enter a mode for handwriting of either being black and white or that color pastel, so you can still utilize color blocking. And that makes it highly sought after. So with the introduction of this tablet, I think we might find someone that's going to be at the forefront. So if you're looking at the Remarkable, looking at Onyx Books, or even considering like an iPad or a Samsung tablet as a note-taking tablet, take a moment, look at this device, and compare for yourself which one is going to be the best device for you. And if you want to follow us and learn more about planning, go ahead, check out the link in the description. You can learn more about our planning system, jump on our website and start a chat. If you just learned one thing from this video, please like it. And if you want to follow and learn more about productivity and technology when it comes to planning out your life, go ahead and subscribe to your channel. I'm Branden Bodendorfer, and Lord willing, we'll see you in the next video.